Spirit 1026 Hedland, it is Matt for breakfast. Good morning, everyone. I also have Todd here, our workday host. Hello, mate.
Hey, good here.
Another good day here. And we've got a very special guest joining us on the line. She'll be part of the Northwest Festival. It's not long to go, so get your tickets right now. northwestfestival.com.au. Performing on the main stage and also part of the Sunday Sundowner at the Civic Centre Gardens. We cannot wait for this. Clare Bowditch joining us on the line. Good morning.
Hello, everybody. How are you?
Fantastic.
Very well here. Thank you very much. Yourself?
I'm really well, thank you, although it's great. I cannot wait to get to you guys. I really can't. We're all pumped.
That's all exciting. Of course, I guess with a bit of a family, as you were saying there, as we were talking off the phone there, I mean, how do you kind of focus with that, you know, when you're going around the country, certainly different areas?
You know, it's funny. It's one of the first questions I'm always asked. And John Butler and Paul Kelly say to me, "I never get asked that question."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Well, because you're not a woman," and you know, So I think that probably the reason I do get asked that is because people remember me being pregnant at the Arias and with my twins, and you know, that was nearly 10 years ago now. So the way we've done it is the way that all working families do it around Australia. We juggle like hell. You know, we for an event like this, our kids have got all sorts of school activities that are going on. So my mum moves in for the night, and we get to have a footloose and fancy-free adventure. With other times, they just come on the road with us, you know. So we all get in the big Tarago and we drive to the airport, get a big plane, and then get in another big Tarago. So it's pretty funny.
I haven't heard the word Tarago in ages. That used to be my family car. We crossed the Nullarbor to South Australia using a Tarago. It was amazing.
Wild, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. As you were mentioning, though, with the ARIA Award, it's been almost 10 years since you won Best Female Artist. Are you going to celebrate, do something with that?
Well, hopefully win again.
Yes,
so that, you know, every 10 years I win one. I think we'll definitely be there on the night, and we are actually in the middle of recording album number 8 right now.
Wow.
So, you know, we'll have something else out next year, and I'm really looking forward to being there. And we'll certainly pop a bit of champagne if anyone in Port Hedland would like to join us. You're very welcome.
Yeah, I don't think you'll have trouble with that. Now, obviously, you're a celebrated musician. You've done acting, won a lot of awards. But one thing I found really interesting is that you, I guess, go out of your way to be a speaker, especially in regards to women in music. Obviously, you're a woman in music, but why do you kind of focus on that as well, to be a speaker, to be someone to stand up for that?
Well, thanks for asking. Look, I'm incredibly passionate in general about the contribution that artists make to Australia's, you know, to our general feeling about ourselves as Australians, and I've already mentioned a couple of the songwriters today. So it's really, my passion starts with being an artist, and I found as I was, you know, 10 years ago, as you know, as I was at Mother standing up winning an award, that was a shock to me to realise that there were so few women who were kind of 30 and over who were making their living out of music. And I think I've had this anomalous career myself, maybe, you know, Casey Chambers and a couple of others, where you know, our career hasn't really been based on us taking our clothes off in film clips. You know, it's kind of been based on songs.
No, and we were just saying, even Missy Higgins was up here at Northwest Festival last year. Another example right there.
That's right. So I think we've got a bit of a generation, you know, happening where there's a crew of us who, we are having kids. We are, you know, still writing songs and trying to tell our stories. But there's a big gap. You know, we look ahead to Deborah Conway and Auntie Ruby Hunter, you know, other, and I've just mentioned her name on radio, but, you know, so many great women performers that we don't know the history of. We don't hear about them. We don't hear their songs on the radio anymore, and I think it's kind of weird. So that's why I talk about it, because there's a whole heap of incredible music being made by people from all genders and all ages and all cultures, and we seem to get really excited about commercial radio, and fair enough, it's pretty exciting. My kids demand we listen to it in the car. But, you know, in the meantime, there's a whole lot of other interesting stuff, and I like to teach people how to use the machinations of you know, fame and all of the things that they're doing with their life to actually make a bit of a difference and talk about things that matter to them.
Don't go anywhere. We got Clare Bowditch on the line. This is Spirit 1026 Hedland. Matt for breakfast.
Spirit.
It's Matt for breakfast on Spirit 1026 Hedland. The very, very talented Clare Bowditch, who will be at the Northwest Festival later this year, is joining us on the show this morning. Now, we were talking about musicians and talking about their history as well. Maybe we should start a movement right now. Let's start going back to your history of Clare Bowditch. I mean, you've got a great story anyway, even leading up to a great role on Offspring on Channel 10.
Oh, yeah.
That's great, isn't it, though?
It was fantastic. It was really, this is what I always like to say. If you are in the position of feeling as strongly as I do about making a living doing something that you love, all sorts of opportunities come your way. I certainly never thought I'd have a radio show or be an actor on television or be offered, to write a book, which I haven't done yet. And I never thought I'd get to start something like Big Hearted Business, which is my love project about all those things we just talked about. But yeah, to imagine that I would be in the company of Asher Keddies and John Waters and Matt Lenevers and Cat Stewart and all of that great crew on Offspring, that was not on the agenda. But I had a new manager. Her name was Liz. She was an entertainment manager, and I'd just been on Q&A, and I was being asked to be on a lot of TV stuff. And Liz said to me, "Hey, mate, I've got an audition for you to be on a show called Offspring." And I'm like, "Oh, no, that's but I'm acting really cool because it's a new relationship. So I'm like, "Yeah, no worries, Liz. I'll be happy to try out." Like, I didn't mention that I haven't acted for 20 years or 10 years,
It doesn't matter.
The chance of me getting this role as Rosanna was so unlikely that I actually didn't stress about it. I put plaits in my hair, I went and I read my lines, and something in that nonchalance got me the role, which was very curious. So, yeah, I've spent the last 3 summers being on that show, and it's a fantastic show. Are you weeping that it's not on anymore?
I know a lot of people around Port Hedland, a lot of housewives, definitely very sad about that.
Me too, mate. I read
the whole
that.
Patrick storyline as well was a killer.
Crikey. I wore black for a year, I can tell you.
But as you were mentioning Q&A as well, you've also shown your talents and stuff there too. Now, obviously, it's been making headlines in recent weeks as well, but it is such an important program. What, I guess,
agree.
was your take on all that happened, not too long ago?
It's pretty important we have a show like Q&A, but like any other show, it's made by producers who are humans, and sometimes they make calls that they regret later on. We need to have freedom of speech, but how do we have it in a way that doesn't entice hate and hatred and us-them attitudes? And I think sometimes, it's a bit of a pressure cooker, that show. So I think it's incredibly important that we have the show, and then it's incredibly important that we debate what's discussed on the show. What can also sometimes happen is that we become aware of really bloody uncomfortable truths when people speak their mind on Q&A. I reckon that's important.
Yeah, for sure, because it can be a slippery slope, but, sometimes it's going to work out, sometimes it's not, but either way, it needs to be heard and it needs to be said.
I agree, and I think extremism of any kind breeds in silence. It doesn't breed in conversation. It doesn't breed in we're always going to have different opinions, hugely different opinions, and as Edward Said said a long, long time ago, by putting that person in a corner and treating them as an other, we don't enter conversation with them. It's the problem religions have had for years, and you find, there are these people who are able to break through the conversation and be mediums between 2 points of view. That's bloody important.
Absolutely. Now, going over to another very, very important topic.
Listen to us. We're solving the world's problems.
Well, I'm hoping we can solve this particular dilemma. Hot or not, budgie smugglers?
Oh, God.
And if not,
speaking of Q&A,
you know the first image that flashes in my mind when you say those words.
Well, when we think of that, that's the one guest that hasn't been on Q&A.
Yeah.
That's right. That's exactly right. Look, let's just say it depends who's wearing them. Let's just say. Okay. I don't have a hard line on that.
Oh, okay.
But I don't have a hard line if it's my husband wearing them. But with other people, who knows? Oh, God.
All right, so lads, no budgie smugglers at Northwest Fest, all right? Leave them at home.
Thanks anyway.
What are we actually going to be expecting from you when you come up to our neck of the woods?
Oh, I'll be that woman in the audience screaming when everyone else is saying, "It's Fans of Tokyo," etc. Josh Pike. I'll throw my. No, I won't. I was going to say we have a habit of trying not to throw our undies at the stage when other performers are on stage. But we're going to have a great time, basically, and we'll be performing. I'll be bringing a good chunk of my band up. We'll be playing some new songs. We'll be playing the ones that you might have heard on the radio over the years if you're really lucky. And my shows are always about having a bloody good time with my audience. So come have fun. I'll try not to swear. We'll have a great time.
Oh, I certainly cannot wait for that. Oh, that's amazing. Well, of course, Clare Bowditch will be here for the Northwest Festival later this year. That is the 21st to the 23rd of August at the Port Hedland Turf Club and the Civic Centre Gardens on Sunday for the Sunday Sundowner. It's been an absolute pleasure, Clare. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank
Thanks,
you.
fellas. Oh, all the best. Thanks. I look forward to seeing you there.
All right,
Thank
see
you very
soon.
much. That wraps up me for breakfast. Todd is about to take over for the rest of the day. Catch you all later.